Hey everybody, it's Jay with JB's. Well, JB's, I'm not sure what I'm calling my channel yet for sure. I have this red cypress here, and I picked it in the backyard. It was only about this tall when I picked it. It's been growing for about a year in this pot here. Maybe 7-8 months. I don't know if it's been quite a year yet actually. So it's grown a lot since I put it in this pot. I mean, most of this is growth from when I put it in this pot. It's just a clay pot with nursery soil in it, so nothing super special. I'm just trying to grow it out right now before I put it into a nice bonsai pot. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and trim it up, maybe do some styling on it. I don't think I'm going to do any wiring. Maybe I'll do some wiring, not sure yet. We'll see when we get there. So yeah, I guess let's just get started. I think I'm just going to go through and pull out all the weeds and do all the styling. Maybe I'll say some things in the middle here, but I might just go to town on this one, and yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So here we go. will do it for this tree. So most of the stuff I put down here in my compost barrel, I save all the clippings off of all my trees and compost them for initial growing soil like what's in here, or some of my other stuff, like I've got cuttings and little pots too. So I'll save all the clippings, turn it into compost. Some of the larger clippings like these ones here, I might turn these into cuttings. Well, they're obviously cuttings, but I might turn these into new trees. We'll see. I've actually got quite a few of these cypress, and you can pretty much dig them up throughout my yard. There's a ton of them out here, really small like this. So I may or may not do that. I might just do it for practice. But I've got a ton of cuttings over here. I don't know if you can see over here very well, but anyway, this one looks like it's doing pretty good for now. It's still nice and healthy. I left plenty of green on here for it to recover. All the picking that I did underneath the branches and on top, like at the branches, there's needles like on the branches. So I just pulled off all the needles. Makes it look older quick, you know. So I mean, this tree's got a long ways to go. I'm not even gonna wire it because it looks like the branches are going in a decent direction for now. So being out here in Florida, most of the trees don't have the branches that point down out here, and I want to do this one like a native tree, because it is native out here. I think it may not be, but I found it out here, so I'm gonna grow it like it is native out here. So yeah, most of the branches on the trees out here, they'll grow upwards and up and out. So that's what I'm gonna do with this one. I'll definitely do some more trimming up here eventually, but I want this to recover before I do any of that stuff. At some point I will definitely trim back the tips of the branches, like right here and here, because all these tips are pretty hard cuts. So I'll trim those back, and later on I'll smooth out these cuts also. They should heal over pretty well, pretty easily also. So yeah, so that's gonna do it for this video. Appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Okay, so I decided to do another tree today. This is a juniperus procumbens nana. It's I think it's a little overgrown for this pot. I've been letting it grow and get strong. I got it early this season, 2020, when the nursery stock started coming out. I got it I'm pretty sure I got this at either Home Depot or Lowe's, one of the big box stores. So really like this tree. It's got a lot of character to it. It's got a lot of growth on it. It is raining, and I'm in a kind of a tent-like greenhouse. So if it gets noisy, I'll just work anyway. So probably gonna just play some music and trim this one up like I did the last one. So there we go. Basically what you do with junipers and a lot of other trees, but mostly like junipers, is you clean out the underneath of the branches. Like you got a little guy right here that's growing, so take that off. So anything that's hanging down underneath the branch, and then a lot of times I've been told to take the stuff growing straight up out of the branch, but that takes away a lot of the foliage on some of these. So in the initial trimming and styling and getting the branches set properly, I would suppose that would be something that's really good to do, so you can see what you're working with. But once it's getting to the point where it's pretty established, I don't think that I'm going to take a whole lot out of the top. I might shorten a lot of this stuff, but I'm not going to completely take the upward growing branches off of this one. Long branch right here, and that is coming right out of the top of one of this main branch here. Doesn't really look like it's helping the styling of the tree, and it is sticking up quite a bit right there. So I'm going to take this one off at the trunk. So I got a lot more growth down here that'll fill this in, so I'm going to take this one off. And then this I will keep for making another tree out of it. It's not really hard to make a cutting with junipers. I guess it kind of depends on the time of year as to how successful it's going to be. Here in Florida, it's rather humid. I mean, a lot. So I mean, it's warm, humid. So what I do, I just pick off all the needles on the bottom here and a couple of the branches so that I've got a stem. You can cut the stem flush or not, but also if you just kind of scrape it a little bit, take the brown off, nice and gently, because if you scrape too far then it won't grow roots right there. And then I put it in sand. I use some rooting hormone. I'm not going to tell you the name because it's just common stuff. I don't have any sponsorships or anything, so you put a little bit of rooting hormone on it. Because it's raining outside, the tree is a little wet, so you get the branch wet, you dip it, kind of tap it off. Of course, just got that much on there. And then I've got a couple of trays over here that I'm just going to stick it in. I like using sand for the cuttings because it grows nice and easy into the sand. The sand holds enough moisture but not too much moisture. And when you go to pull them out, you can just kind of pull them out rather than digging them up and trying to save all the roots and all that, because it just comes right up out of the sand. You can just rinse the sand off the roots that stays on the roots. So it makes it a lot easier that way. So I think that looks a little bit better right there, a little bit lower profile. And I do have a couple of branches coming out of this side right here, and I think I'm going to have to choose to cut. Actually, I think I'm going to leave them. I'm going to go crazy with this tree. Just leave them right there for now. I'm going to take this one off though. It's growing out the side here. And this one's growing off the side into everything over here. I'm going to shorten it. things that you want to do when you're trimming up a juniper or cleaning it up, like right in the crotch of the branches right here, where the branch splits right here, you got small pieces that grow in there. You can just pull those out, get them cleaned up. So another thing you can do with those, if you want to shorten a branch, leaving those pieces on there and letting them grow and cutting the branch off instead of the little piece will actually make that into a new branch. Obviously it takes a little while, but that could turn into a new branch. So like if I wanted to get rid of this branch and make it shorter or grow in a different direction, I could leave this little branch right here, or this little piece right here, and grow that into a new branch. But I want to keep this branch, so I'm going to take that off. And a lot of this stuff you can just pull off with your fingers. Not everything, but that's what we got scissors for also. And what you're doing by cleaning it up here is creating more space for the growth that you do want to grow, and also creating more space for light to get through it. And obviously there's nothing down here, but to thin this out makes it just look nicer also. A lot of people say you can pinch and twist the ends of these and they'll come off, but a lot of times I like using scissors because I think it's more accurate as to where I want to cut it back to. And then just be careful not to cut the needles, the ends of the needles, and that'll keep it from turning brown after you've cut it. Oh, I forgot to mention I did get a tripod finally, so I can have my camera over there and be able to work over here. Makes it extremely easier, or that didn't make sense. That makes it a lot easier. It's extremely nice to have a tripod. So here's one of those instances where I like this branch placement better than I like this branch placement, because this one's going off into these other branches over here. So I'm going to take this one off and leave this one on here, and it'll fill out this section here. And sometimes, like with this branch, it looks a little funky here, but it's got some long leggy branch or leggy growth on it. I mean, I could cut it way back and it'll grow out, but this will get back budding on it and then turn into more like this, more bushy, and then I can cut it back again. Looks like this branch is pretty good. I think I'm going to trim this one back a little bit more so it's not sticking out, just like that. This branch looks pretty good. It's nice and full still, but it's a little bit thinner. I'll trim this one back. I've always noticed that you can just keep trimming and trimming, so have some self-control so you don't over trim. But also, just remember that trees can recover from over trimming most of the time. Depending on the time of the year, I guess, if it's super hot out, you trim too much off, it could kill it because there's not enough perspiration from the foliage. So just do be careful of that. But It's actually getting into the cooler part of the year. It was only 90 degrees today, so that was nice. I actually prefer warmer weather, so 90 is good for me. I like it. I'm looking to make some space in between these two, or in between the upper piece of this branch right here and this lower piece of this branch. There's also another branch kind of that sticks out right here. I want to keep them all because I kind of want it to have layers, like stair step down. So I'm going to keep them, but I just want to have space in between each one of the branches. So that's what I'm working on right now. Okay, so kind of got these branches a little separated here. There's a little bit more space in here. Cut this one back a little bit more. I want it to start sticking out like right here, kind of go up under here. Maybe you want to take that one off completely. Let this one go. I think I'm going to take this one off. I'm going to let this one grow out. I don't know. Kind of made it look a little weird now. I don't know. It's kind of space. I don't know, I guess that's what I was going for. A little bit of space in between the branches. So. To look like, you know, chop the branches off the insides here and just let the outsides grow, because I want it to look as natural as possible. I mean, it's supposed to look like a tree in miniature, so I don't want to make it look like it was just chopped at, you know, like a shrub or something. So I want to make sure that it still looks symmetrical and like a tree here. I do want to take off some of the foliage that, I don't know if you can quite see this, maybe this piece here, it's got no growing tips on it. It's still green, but it's got no growing tips on it. So I'm going to take that stuff off, give the rest of the tree some more energy. It kind of opens that up too. Kind of notice one thing with these procumbens nana. If you do cut it back to where it's just the needles, I mean, I might be able to see this. So like this little branch here, how it's got the needles down here at the bottom, and then it's got the growing tips up here. If you cut it all the way back to where it's just the needles, it doesn't seem to grow back. So you kind of have to leave something, like there's that little tip on there, you can leave that and that'll grow. But if you cut back too far, then this branch will stay green. I mean, it'll stay alive, but it just won't grow. And I'm not sure if that's scientifically proven or whatever, but that's just something I've found on the trees that I work on. This little guy is noisy, isn't it? Very inexpensive turntable, but it does the job. It'd be kind of nice to have one that's just, you know, spins just barely touching it, or I don't know, maybe not, because when you spin a tree, you kind of want it to stop where you want it to stop, you know. feel the bottom of the branch and know if there's a piece that you need to take off. It was really humid today. It just rained a little bit and now it's all cloudy, so I think I like that for now. I'm not sure if this tree is too big for this pot. I don't know. It kind of looks like it's getting there, but I think it's all right in this pot. If you have any suggestions, feel free to comment. I do like hearing from people that comment. Just always remember to be polite with comments and stuff like that. I mean, on my channel and anybody's channel, really. Get rid of this one. But yeah, it's starting to look really good. This branch is kind of curving off here, a little weird. I might try to find a round pot for this tree, or a hexagonal. I think that's a word. A hexagonal pot, or something that's not square or rectangle. So I wanted to. I like to make my trees look natural the whole way around. I mean, if you walk up to this thing in the woods and you see it like this, and you know it's like it's a cool tree and angle, you know. So I don't know. I kind of like. I like making my trees look good from any angle. Obviously these things grow out, so I might grow this side out a little bit more here, and I'm definitely going to let this branch grow out a little bit more here, so that maybe, I don't want it round per se, because that looks weird too, but I want it to have some shape to it on all sides. So yeah, that's this tree for now. And like I said earlier, thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see some more videos, and leave a comment. Awesome, thanks.